Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Once again, this was a big week. As I spoke about on Monday, there was Fed speak, there was inflation data, there was politics, there was geopolitics, and even earnings. So please, Monday's going to be a close to a can't miss update. And next week, even more to come. Monday's market update, as always, you can see it on my social media, on my website, or you can subscribe to the email. But as so many people figure out how to make summer Fridays into the beginning of a 3-day weekend, we still have the day to go. Today is July 12th. 2024, and this is your Friday planning video. Today, I want to go pretty big picture. If this is your first time watching my videos or you're new, you may not know this about me. Those that have known me for a while are going to get a laugh. For the obvious, I'm a pretty disciplined person, and I have my routine, and I try to stick to that. And as many of you know, when I'm off of that, it's not so good for me. So what I want to talk about today is not my anxiety. I'll save that for another form of therapy. I want to focus on discipline. Also odd about me is that some of the videos I watch, and this week I watched a video documentary about the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. That and one Instagram clip are what I want to work off of today. I'm not talking about the discipline to work out or eat right. That's not what these videos are. I want to talk about financial discipline and how it works into your financial planning. I think about this a lot, but between the Blue Angels, some work procedures we worked out this week, and the Instagram video, this was really front and center for me this week. Since it's summer, and as I mentioned, so many people do actually slow down their schedules, and I would like to suggest if you do not yet have discipline in your financial world, this may be a good time to bring some in. What I found when watching the Blue Angels, which I'll assume you all know about, if you do not, please Google them, and even better, try to attend an air show with them in the future. They are worth seeing. They are in the Air Force Thunderbirds, or simply, if you can use that word with them, a flight demonstration team. And for today's purposes, I'll say that they are one of the best examples of what a disciplined plan and a team to perform it can really do. The flights are artwork to watch, but what I want to focus on is some of the things that the documentary showed, did not even highlight, but showed that this is the best visual example that I have seen in a while of having a routine, being disciplined about it and making success from it. I'm not talking about the flying diamond and the 18 inches apart that they fly. I'm talking about when they leave their rooms at the hotel or the barracks and step by step until they take off in their jets. I recommend you see it, so I'll try not to bore you with it, but they walk in order, they step in order, they walk to the van, exit the van, walk to the tarmac, walk in formation to their planes, breaking off one by one, like the jets themselves as the line of pilots pass each of the jets. Greet their flight crews, and even how they get into their cockpit, remove their garrison caps, and put on their helmets. And that's all before they even take off. You can only imagine the discipline in the flight itself. This reminded me about what a good financial plan can and should be. I know, again, if you know me, this does not surprise you. So let's talk about some of the routines that as a team, you and myself, along with other members of your team, your family, your heirs, tax and legal advisors, everyone on the team, these routines that we should have in place. Some of these will be familiar and some may be new. Some may apply and some may not. Regardless, as with any plan, it doesn't have to be just like someone else's. It has to be yours. And that's why they call it personal financial planning. But you should follow it day in and day out. So let's go. This is before the pilots even leave the barracks. This is the pre-flight part one. Let's review the most important part. That's goals. What will your in-flight routine look like? Overall, this is where we visit the hopes and dreams and desires for the outcome for your plan. This is not a one and done. I recall a client about 20 years ago that came in and said that they could not come up with a goal since it was always changing. And that's the point. It does evolve, but that's going to be addressed later in the routine. This part will be when we determine what your time horizon on your plan is. This is being saved. Is this being saved for a wedding? Is this child 2 or 22? That will determine what we will do with it. We will also determine your overall risk tolerance and how that's going to show in the plan. This is not done with a questionnaire. This is done with conversation and examination of what you feel and what you know. Okay, pre-flight 1 is complete, and now on to pre-flight 2, where we really go over what we want the flight to look like and how, at the end of the day, what the overall show should look like. This is when we develop a financial investment plan and use it to meet those goals. This will include how, what, and when we will invest and what we should expect from those investments. Will they be cash management, for example, for short-term needs? Will they be income-oriented, or are they growth-oriented? And what's the nature of taxation that will come? Now will be that time that I remind you that I do not give personal tax or legal advice, but we do bring them into the flight team, and we work together to get a full plan in place. Now that the air show is planned and it's practiced, it'll be time to hit the tarmac, get into the jets, and take off, all with the precision we discussed in the pre-flight. This is another key time that the routine is important, and the key to this is that, yes, we will react to market conditions, like the pilots have to react to the weather conditions, but overall, this will not cancel the show outright. In most cases, if there's low clouds, for example, the low-level show is executed, and if the economy or the market warrants it, we'll adjust, but not cancel the financial plan. This is the key. As I will tell you over and over again, the goal is what drives the plan. We do not ignore the weather, but we keep our eye on the goal. 2 more parts of the routine, and then I want to do a quick note from that Instagram video I saw. While in flight, you can't imagine, if you have ever seen the show, you would not think about the fact that the precision is being done in the air, and that is in the atmosphere. There's turbulence and there's changing weather at every moment. If you fly ever, you can attest to this. Like the Blue Angels, this is when the attention to detail matters. This is where the experience matters and the adjustments that need to be made, and there are always adjustments that need to be made in flight and in the financial plan. Those adjustments are made as needed, and then into the final part of the plan after the flight. The debrief is intense, and this is the evaluation part of our planning. This is when we sit down, review from goal to performance against that goal, what has happened, what changes the weather may be causing, and what solutions and corrections are necessary. This is the planning. This is the routine. The Blue Angels do it at least 60 times a year. And if you see multiple shows, there are always slight variations, but the routine is the same. Today's message is that routine is the key to our success. The planning process, like their flight process, is what will give us the best chances to succeed in meeting your goals. And that will always be the outcome we strive for. Blue Angels strive to entertain the audience safely, and we strive to meet your financial and personal goals safely. Please, let's keep meeting and executing this routine. Routines should breed success, or at least good routines should breed good results. It is the work that we do together that will determine that. Finally, as I mentioned, I saw an amazing message on an Instagram post this week. The speaker says the following: my grandfather walked 10 miles to work every day. My father walked 5. I'm driving to work in a Cadillac. My son is driving a Mercedes, and my grandson will be driving a Ferrari. My great-grandson will be walking again. Why, he asks? The story goes on. Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. Why do I repeat this after my story about routines? Really, the routine is hard. Most of them are, but it is my suggestion that if we develop and execute your routine, keep your plan, then you can create easy times. I'll admit, and most of you know this, our further job is not to allow easy times to create weakness. Again, routine and discipline. With that, I'll ask that you work with me to develop your plan, implement your plan, manage your plan, adjust your plan, then start again. I'll look forward to working with you on this, and if you get the chance to see the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, I do highly recommend them. For now, have a great weekend, and we'll stay in touch.